This is no place for a child. And yet Moria camp is home to more than 7,000 of them. The vast majority of these children have fled war-torn countries and arrived here in Europe, a place, supposedly, of humanity, safety and security.
Okay, let's go together.
At the nearby children's clinic, a mental health emergency is unfolding. A 17-year-old boy slashed himself across his chest and arms overnight. His friend has brought him in.
But just ask him if we can talk to her.
This is a sadly common scene here.
He's not well. He does want to, he talks about wanting to do this again.
More than 150 children have been referred to MSF psychologists in the last 2 months alone. That's double the number from the summer. 2 of those children attempted suicide. The youngest was just 13 years old.
Normally a child, when experiences something traumatic, has to have the time and the space to recover. Moria does not allow children to recover. In a child in the preschooler age, you can see children banging their head against a wall, for instance, pulling their hair off. And in the age more between 12 and 17, we see children start to cut themselves, strongly start to talk about the desire of dying.
A father in desperate search of help for his family. His daughter Zainab has autism and epilepsy. They arrived a few days ago. It took them 2 months to get here from Afghanistan. They met us at a makeshift community centre at the camp. He described how they all almost died when they were flung into the sea as they crossed from Turkey. Their bag with their money and Zainab's medication was lost. Both children, he tells me, are utterly traumatized. We were refused permission to film inside the main government-run part of the camp, but the overspill into the neighbouring olive grove now holds well over half of the 17,000 population of Moria. Some families are getting stuck here for months, awaiting news on their asylum claims. The Greek government recently announced plans to move 20,000 people off this island and neighbouring islands by early 2020, but movement on that has been extremely slow, and people, particularly women and children, keep arriving on these islands every week. More than 1,000 children in these camps are travelling alone. Most are teenagers. This 15-year-old boy, who we're not identifying, is staying in a shipping container with 20 other unaccompanied boys.
I have come from Afghanistan here to feel myself in a safe place, but I think it's not a safe place. It's really dangerous. I'm thinking about everything, what will happen to me, what I'm going to do in here. After this, what will come.
The teenager is being helped by this legal charity. They work with some of the most vulnerable people in Moria.
So I'd say between 700 and 800 kids that are sleeping outside the sections. They're sleeping on the streets, in the beach, in a park in the middle of town where they say there's a prostitution network, in the mosque with other adults in the tents because they don't have tents, so they choose to share with adults.
Children are resilient.
My name is Mustafa.
Here in a tented shack which is used as a community centre, staff are trying to help them remember simply how to be children.
My name is Nargis.
There are art classes too. Zekria, himself a refugee, helps to run this facility.
They learn something. They become busy here. They came here for 2 hours, 3 hours, and they play coloring, drawing, and and it has brought lots of impacts and lots of happiness for them.
Another precious place of solace. These children are learning to play the guitar. A dim glow of hope in these dark times. Tulip Mazumdar, BBC News, Moria camp in Lesbos.